Hey guys, this is Drew Pierce with NStyle Country. I'm here with Brandon Stansell. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Great, thank you. So you have a new music video coming out for your song Hometown. Can you tell us a little bit about what that song's about?
Yeah, so Hometown is pretty much my coming out story. I'm from Tennessee. I grew up in Chattanooga, and I came out when I was in college. I went to Belmont, just down the street. And you know, the song is both a little bit about hope and hurt, kind of a combination of the two. You know, I went through kind of a few years that were pretty tough for me, and then fast forward a decade, and I finally figured out how to be proud of this person that I am, and but it took a while to get here, and so I wrote this song as kind of a way to say, you know what. I can't change the things that happened to me, but I'm really thankful for the path that I took to get me to this place because I think that it made me who I am. So that's what it's about.
That's awesome. Yeah. So could you walk us through a little bit of your songwriting process?
You know what? It's kind of it's a different thing every time. It really depends on who I'm writing with or if I'm writing by myself. I think the thing that always stays the same is I have to really kind of feel what I'm writing, and it really helps if I've gone through it. I have a motto, and that is write what you know. So most of my songs are things that I've kind of lived through. So yeah, it's a bit different every time, but I always kind of like to start with something personal experience.
Cool. So can you talk a little bit about how you got into music?
Well, I joke and say that I started when I was really little. My very first show was on the Opry stage at 6, and I joke and tell people that I've spent my entire adult life just clawing and scraping my way to get back there. Yeah, I used to be a kid performer over at Opryland, but I've sang my whole life and done just a variety of things on the stage. So anything from performing at Opryland to I was a backup dancer for Taylor Swift for a long time, to doing a really terrible off-Broadway show. But I really didn't actually start writing music of my own until about 2014. It's always something that I wanted to do, but I never really felt like I could. My biggest hang-up was that I felt like I didn't have anything to write about, and then I went through my first breakup, and bam, I had a bunch of material. So yeah, that's kind of what got me started.
So we are NStyle Country, so we love to talk about fashion and style and all of that. So could you talk to us just a little bit about your personal style?
Sure. I mean, I kind of I don't know. It just depends on the day. But it's pretty carefree, pretty easyogoing. It seems cliche, but I love boots. I love cowboy boots. I'm short, so anything that makes me taller is good in my book. But I have friends in LA that are much more fashionable than I am, so I try to pick up tips along the way. I don't consider myself to be an icon of fashion, but I have learned a lot in my years. So, yeah, I mean, it's fun. I wish I were better at it.
So, speaking of icons, who are your fashion icons or style influences?
So this is going to sound really funny because I think everyone has those really big names that they look up to. My friends are the most fashionable people that I know, and I'm always like, boy, I wish I was more like them. One of my really good friends in LA is I don't know if you've ever heard of the Try Guys that were on BuzzFeed. Now they're doing their own thing. So Eugene is a really great friend of mine. I met him through one of my other friends who's his partner, Eugene is the most fashionable person that I know, and every time I see him, I feel bad about myself. I'm like, boy, I wish I could do that. But yeah, no. So like I said, I kind of pick up tips along the way, but I got some really fashionable friends that I wish I could be.
So where do you find your clothes? Where do you shop to find an outfit?
So I'm a big fan of Topshop, and I'm a big fan of Nordstrom and Nordstrom Rack. If you're on a budget, I think those are great places. I'm also a big fan of H&M. Just kind of nice, easy breezy things. I wear a lot of just plain tees. This is from Outdoor Voices, which is a brand that I'm kind of new to, that I like. But feel this shirt. I know.
goodness.
I know.
That is
What's
so
great about
soft.
what's great about this is that like I wear this to work out in, but then I also wear it to these things, and you never know. But it's actually really great. It's kind of like it can be both sportswear and
Best of both worlds.
yeah, you can do both. And then so I wear a lot of just kind of like plain tees from Outdoor Voices, and James Pierce is kind of one of my favorites.
So how, like, what is your process for like putting together an outfit for like a show or like a shoot or anything like that?
Well, it starts with prayer. Just kind of hope and a wish that it turns out well. I usually kind of run everything by someone else because, like I said, I know that I'm not great at it. But I love, like, for shows, I love jackets. I wear a lot of jackets. I have a friend in LA that is so kind and lets me steal from his closet. But he started this company called Strapped, and you can check them out. They're amazing. I wore them to the CMT Awards this year. And to a bunch of shows at CMA Fest. They just make the most beautiful, like, leather and, like, suede jackets. Basically what they do is they started out by, like, getting older jackets, like older leather jackets and, like, suede jackets and different materials and kind of piecing them together. But they're just beautiful, and I usually, when I know I have a show coming up, I'll go and raid their warehouse. But yeah, Strapped, it's a great brand.
That's so cool. So last question, if you had one fashion tip for our viewers out here, what would it be?
Be better than I am. No, I would say have fun with it. You know, I think that's the biggest hang up is that it can feel so daunting, right? It's just like, if it's like cool or if like this is, you know, in on trend and whatever. But I think the most, you know, I think fashion is fun, you know, so have fun with it. Have fun in the, you know, you should feel good in the clothes you're wearing. And if you don't, change.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk to us.
Thank you for having me.
This was Drew Pierce with Brandon Stansell on NStyle Country.